So now, we will be discussing the influencer marketing. So first thing na kailangan natin malaman is, ano nga ba yung influencer marketing? So basically, influencer marketing is a type of social media marketing that uses endorsement and the products that being mentioned from influencers. So basically, pag business owner ka, minamarket yung product mo gamit yung expertise na yung meron yung mga influencer. Second is, ano nga ba yung influencer? Kanina sinabi ko yung influencer marketing, pero ano yung influencer? So basically, it is someone who is way over your target audience, have a socialized knowledge or insight on a specific subject. So bakit nga ba importante na makipag-collaborate tayo sa mga influencer marketing in modern marketing? So first thing first, they help create brand awareness. Influencers already have a large loyal audience social media platform. So when the influencers promote a brand, their followers quickly learn about the product or service that they are being marketed. So this helps the businesses reach new audiences faster than traditional advertising. So influencers can introduce a brand to the thousands or even millions of followers. So next one is the influencers build credibility and trust in your brand. So followers often see influencers as a relatable and trustworthy. So when an influencer recommend a product, of course, it feels like it's more personal suggestion rather than paid advertisement. So because of this trust, people are more likely to believe in the quality of the brand and feel confident carrying it. So next one is it increases the sales. So influencers demonstrate how a product works and how it benefits in real life situations. So seeing someone they admire use a product, they can encourage followers to buy it. This often leads to increase the sales and high conversion rates. The next one is increase the engagement. So when influencers talk about your brand online, they often include links to your website. So these backlinks and online mentions can increase the website traffic and improve search engine rankings. So search engines like Google recognizes popular and frequently mentioned websites as more relevant. So which helps to boost the visibility of your brand. So in influencers, there are so many types of them. So meron tayong sinasabing mega influencers. Those mega influencers have 1 million plus followers. And then we have the macro influencers, which is 500 to 1 million followers. The mid-tier influencers, which is 50 to 500k followers. And the micro influencers with 10k to 50k followers. And also the nano influencers, 11k to 10k followers. So these are the example na kilala natin sa industriya ng pagsa-social media marketing. So masasabi natin si Vice Ganda is a mega influencer. Considering na siya ay isang celebrity and millions of people are following it on his social media accounts. The next one is a mid-tier. Hindi ko alam pangalan. Pero nakafocus siya sa fashion industry wherein minamarket niya yung mga iba't ibang local brands here sa Philippines throughout the fashion. And then the next one is the macro. Si Ninong Rai, mostly content niya is pagluluto. So basically yung mga minamarket niya is mga sangkap sa pagluluto. Like the Knorr seasoning, nakuha siya as the influencer nito. And mostly marami pa siyang ibang brand na minamarket. Like yung mga Mountain Dew daw. Okay, the next one is a micro. Ito yung pinakamababa lang yung followers nila, pero nakaka-build pa rin sila ng community sa social media. So this one, di ko rin siya kilala, nakita ko lang siya sa TikTok. So basically, minamarket niya is yung mga apparel for gym, mga equipments and such. So sa pagpipili ng maganto, nakadepende siya sa kakayanan ng brand nyo. For example, na nagsisimula pala kayo sa business nyo and then wala pa kayong masyadong capital, much better na mag-start muna kayo sa micro-influencers. So pag na-reach kayo and then mag-convert din sa sales, pwede na kayo mag-upgrade sa different types of influencers. So let's go through the impacts and metrics. So sa impact and metrics, there is the reach and the impressions. So the reach and impressions, pag reach, ibig sabihin number of unique people saw the content. Hindi siya depende sa kung gaano karami yung views. Nakadepende siya kung ilang unique na tao yung nakanood sa video mo. Sabihin natin yung views ng video mo na ginawa ng influencer is 200. Pero yung unique lang na account doon is 100. Pinanood lang nila ng many times. So, ang maka-count lang doon is number ng unique accounts na nanood ng video. Sa impressions, yun naman yung total number of times the content was shown. So, dito, kung kanina sinabi natin 100, dito naman yung nagpa-vary dito is yung 200 kung gaano siya karaming play na beses. Okay, when it comes to reach and impressions, dito na may measure yung brand awareness ng iyong business. So, next is the engagement rate or engagement metrics. Dito, i-measure natin yung likes, comments, shares, and saves na nagkakaroon ng ating content na gawa ng influencer. So, basically, pag ganun, i-add natin yung likes, yung comments, and saves, and share. Tapos, i-divide natin yun kung gaano karaming followers yung specific na influencers na yun. And then, ito-times mo siya sa 100. Yun, lalabas kung gaano ba talaga ka-interested yung audience mo sa isang video na ginawa na content. So, next one is click-through rate. So, dito, it is the percentage of people who click a link in the post. Kasi, hindi naman porket gumawa ka na ng video or ng content is bibili agad yung mga tao or titignan niya agad yung product. Kasi may mga followers na natutuwa lang sila sa content creator pero wala silang balak bumili or wala silang balak na i-check yung product na nilagay mo. So, nakadepende pa rin yun doon kung may nagkakaroon talaga ng interest sa product na minamarket ng influencer. So, the next one, which is sa pinakamahalaga, is the conversions and ROI. So, dito nalalabas yung result o kung kumikita ba talaga ang business mo through that influencer. Kasi, yes, nakagawa ka ng video or ng content yung influencer, pero may pumupunta nga bang pera or may pumapasok nga bang pera sa business mo sa paggamit sa kanila. So, sa influencer marketing, may tinatawag tayo na 4M. So, basically, ito yung dapat mong i-monitor or gawin as kung ikaw yung may-ari ng business. Kung mag-hire ka ba ng influencer, ito yung kailangan mong intindihin muna bago ka mag-hire ng isa. Okay, so 4M's of influencer marketing is refers to the 4 district areas that need to be taken into consideration when your market activities are working with influencers. So the 4M's of influencers marketing is the make, manage, monitor, and measure. So the first one is, ang una is make. So the first of the 4M's is the make stage. So it's all about connecting with the potential customers through advocates of your brand. So dito, yung part na to is nagre-research ka kung sino ba talaga yung specific na influencers na bagay sa brand mo. Kasi hindi naman lahat ng influencers pwede mong i-hire para sa specific mo brand. Sabihin natin yung brand mo is makeup industry, tapos mag-hire ka ng focus sa fitness model. So, hindi siya magmamatch. So, dito, hahanapin mo yung pinaka-exact na babagay sa brand mo. And at the same time, kailangan mo i-consider yung budget. Kaya mo ba yung specific na influencer na yun? Dun sa mga types nating influencer kanina, pasok ba dun yung budget mo when it comes to marketing? So, yan din kailangan natin i-consider. So, next one is the manage. So, in the manage stage, it's all about managing the influencer that has been created during the make stage. So, with using data and insights, the make stage business can see what is working and what needs to improve. So, like the past reporter, sabi nila na ano nga ba yung nag-work sa influencer? Yung funny content ba or yung formal na content? So, nakadepende din yan sa brand mo. Kasi merong specific na brands na kailangan na formal ang marketing and meron ding brands na kailangan funny siya para ma-engage yung mga tao. Next one is monitor. So, Meron na nga tayong influencer na nagpapakita ng brand natin sa mga audience nila. Pero kailangan mong isaisip na kailangan mo rin i-monitor yung mga influencer na yun na pinili mo. Kasi influencer monitoring is designed to gauge the positive or negative conversations that exist around your brand, as well as how influencers are talking about your offerings to your buyers. Kasi ang reputation ng brand mo is important na yung principles nun is same sa influencer na kukunin mo. So for example na lang, this brand, the Colorette brand, influencer kasi nila si Abby Sale. Si Abby Sale is, showcase niya yung brands ng Colorette, which is purely made for Filipinos. Mostly pang mga moreno siya and such, more on sa beauty products, di ba? And then, one time, this influencer shared a photo of this member of SB19, which is an old photo of him, na sabi, pangit daw. So, nag-circulate yun sa buong social media, and then nagkaroon ng hate towards this influencer. So, nagkakaroon ng brand image yan na nagkakaroon ng problem kasi iisipin ng tao, influencer ka ng beauty products pero nang shame ka ng mukha ng ibang tao. Kasi nagpo-focus siya sa building ng confidence ng tao. So, immediately, ito yung maganda sa Colorette kasi they do the monitoring. Pinapansin nila kung anong nangyayari sa influencer nila and kasi makaka-affect yun sa brand nila. So, naglabas agad sila ng statement na tatanggalin na siya as their influencer. So ngayon, hindi na siya influencer ng Colorette. Another example is this fitness coach. Nag-post siya one time sa Facebook na nakakita daw siya ng isang beginner na pumupunta ng gym na gumagamit pa ng cuffs pag nagdudo ng workout. Yung cuffs kasi, supported siya sa nilalagay sa katawan mo para mas madali mo siyang magawa. Siyempre, as a beginner, wala pa alam yung tao yan, mahina pa siya kumbaga kasi nag-build pa lang siya. And then sinabi niya agad na, tinawanan niya, and then sinabi ng isang guy na, bakit hindi mo na lang siya turuan kasi mas may alam ka. Tapos nag-reply pa siya, sabi niya is, first, hindi ako nagtuturo kapag hindi ko employee or hindi ko client. Which is sabi niya ganyan. So, mas lalong nagalit yung mga tao. So, at the same time kasi, itong fitness influencer na to is under siya ng Athlean. Yung Athlean is brand siya ng creatine and protein powder. So, yun yung ginagamit. And then, naglabas din ng statement yung Athlean na naglabas din yung Athlean ng statement na tatanggalin na siya sa brand. Ayun, so ganyan yung kailangan na isa ulo nyo kapag isa kayong brand na nag-handle ng influencer. So the last one is measure. Of course, dito na lalabas ang kaching-kaching.
Lalabas?
Dito mo na malalaman kung may pumapasok bang pera sa business mo gamit ang mga influencer na to. Kasi pwedeng depende kasi yun sa brand mo eh. Kasi mayroong mga groups ng people na nag-hire ng influencer pero on the purpose of awareness lang siya. Like, hindi walang pera na pumapasok. Like, actually, ganun. So, mostly, ang focus mo lang dun is brand awareness. Dun ka lang magbe-basis sa mga like, share. Pero pag in terms na business talaga na may papasok na pera, ito, it matters most of the time. Okay, so may ipe-present ako sa inyong isang brand, international brand siya, na magpapakita kung gaano nga ba ka-effective ang pag-hire ng influencer pagdating sa iyong brand. So, ang brand na Gymshark is British fitness apparel brand, and he started it in 2012 by Ben Francis. So, si Ben Francis is, ini-start niya yung business niya na yun na mga damit siya for the gym goers sa mga fitness influencers. So, nag-start lang siya before sa garage. Wala pa siyang mismong place kung saan binibenta niya yon. And then, ang ginagawa niya lang is nagsisend siya ng mga sample sa mga fitness influencer. Kasi, at this time, mga 2012-2013, mas famous pa yung YouTube or mas dun nakafocus yung mga tao. And then, andun yung mga fitness influencers, which is yun yung tinarget niya.
Target?
So ngayon yung value ng brand nila is nasa around 1.3 to 1.4 billion dollars na siya. But when 2012, nung in-start niya pa lang, ito yung... But ito, nakafocus siya sa isang influencer lang nun, na guy, na YouTube influencer, fitness influencer siya. And then, from that, na showcase niya lang yung mga products throughout the gym na ginagawa ng videos, umabot sa $500,000 yung kinikita nila annually with that brand. So, that was 2013. And then, sabi nila, what if, since nakafocus lang tayo sa mga lalaki na mga nag-gym, what if showcase na rin tayo sa mga women na nag-fitness journey. So, nag-start sila, nag-open sila another ng brand which is nakafocus naman sa mga pambabae na mga damit. Ito, wala na naman yung picture, pero nandyan yung fitness influencer na girl. Noong 2014, hinire niya yun, and then ganun ulit, same doing na ginagawa ng mga fitness influencer, umabot ng $17 million yung kinikita ng brand niya annually. And then with that, mas nakita niya yung growth na meron pagdating sa influencer marketing. So, mas nag-focus siya ngayon sa mga influencers. And then now, noong 2016, nag-start siya makipag-collaborate dito sa tatlong biggest fitness influencer sa buong mundo. Which is one, ito si David Tate na kinakwento ko kanina. Famous siya sa social media and sa gym industry. And then si Sam Sulek, nasa gitna, is siya yung pinaka-recent nilang influencer ngayon na sikat when it comes to bodybuilding. And then itong guy na to, si Chris Bumstead or si Bum, siya lang naman yung, kung alam niyo yung competition wherein nag-showcase ng mga katawan ng mga lalaki, which is Mr. Olympia. Sa buong mundo yun, tinitignan kung sino may pinaka-aesthetic and pinaka-magandang build na muscles. So with that, title holder siya for almost 6 years, now Mr. Olympia, and now retired na siya. Kaya throughout those, ang laki ng audience niya, no? Kilalang-kilala siya, kaya sobrang laking tulong niya. Itong especially tatlong to, laking tulong to ng mga influencer sa brand. Kaya ang laki-laki ng kita nila. So with that, umabot ng $128 million per year yung kinikita nila. So imagine, 2013 nasa 500,000 lang. Noong 2014, naging 17 million. And then 2016, umabot ng $128 million. And then today, nasa 1.3 to 1.4 billion na siya. So ganun kalaki impact ang pagkakaroon ng mga influencers when it comes to your brand. So syempre, hindi ka lang naman nag-hire ng mga influencers, kailangan marunong ka rin marunong kang alagaan yung mga influencer. So as of now, dito na sila karami, which is mas marami pa yan. Kaso, ito yung mga pinaka-mega influencers nila right now na sikat. So they don't just, kumbaga yung brand nila is they don't just market this brand, but also the inclusivity. Even though when it comes to the culture, nagiging sensitive sila doon, which is inaalaw na nilang magkaroon ng brand clothing sa mga partners like the Saudi Arabia na hindi sila bawal silang mag-show ng skin when it comes to that. So, ganoon sila ka-alaga sa mga influencer nila. So, ito yung statistics na show kung gaano nag-grow ang business nila just by using those influencers. Siyempre, meron din silang mga ads, pero mas nag-focus kasi sila sa influencers. Kaya ganun kalaki yung impact. So, just for you to know, so, this is the Gymshark and then the Lululemon. So, Lululemon is, yun yung pinaka-competitor nila when it comes to the mga apparel for fitness. So, yung Lululemon, nag-start siya noong 2006 pa. And then, nag-start na itong Gymshark noong 2012. Pero, as of now, even you see in the metrics here, ito kasi, nakuha ko siya sa website wherein you can see the metrics kung gaano karami yung followers yung mga brand sa iba't ibang social media platforms. Gaano kalaki yung sales na nakukuha nila. So, here makikita natin na nakabase siya sa ranking. So, here sa Gymshark, you can see na when it comes to views rank, the subscribers, mas mataas yung Gymshark sa kanila. Kasi nakafocus sila sa influencer. Yung Lululemon kasi, more on advertisement sila. Pero may mga influencer din sila, pero hindi ganon ka nakafocus doon. So, yun kanina, sa YouTube po yun na data. So, ngayon yung sa TikTok naman. When it comes to TikTok, ganun pa rin. Mas mataas pa rin yung ranking ng Gymshark sa Lululemon. And then dito naman, sa kanilang mga fitness influencer, ito si Chris Bang or si Bang, yung pinakita ko kanina, it shows na mas malaki yung engagement na nakukuha niya when it comes to the people or the audience. Ito, sa Lululemon, they have Lewis Hamilton. Si Lewis Hamilton is, nasa sports car industry siya, yung F1. Nagda-drive siya ganun. So, when it comes to followers, mas sikat to siya. Pero, pag sa brand awareness, mas sikat pa rin si Gymshark. So, sa TikTok naman, yung accounts nilang dalawa, at the same time, ganun pa rin, mas malaki pa rin talaga yung advantage ng Gymshark. So, ganun na lang kalaki yung importance and laki ng natutulong ng mga influencers when it comes to your brand. Ayun lang po.